Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. For those that are new, my name is Nelly. This channel is all about dreams, lifestyle, spiritual minimalism, and faith. Please make sure you like and subscribe and turn on that bell notification so that you can be notified whenever there's a new video. This is a story about compromise where we see Moses and Zippora being husband and wife. Now what we see Moses fleeing to the city of Midian. Midian is a place where Moses didn't know. It was a foreign country for him. He decided to take a break and he rested near where there was a well. Maybe he needed water then. When he was resting there, there came 7 ladies. These were the 7 daughters of the priest of Midian. What happened is Moses was there in the well as the 7 daughters came in, and these daughters, they wanted to get some water, but they were being bullied. So Moses came and interceded on this situation, and he got water for these 7 daughters. He also gave water to the camels that they came with. When they got home, their father was like curious, how come they were home early? And probably they were relating the story, how this hero saved them in the well and helped them get water and also gave water to the camels. Probably their father was just listening to their story full of excitement, because sometimes getting water from the well can be a bit hectic. I can just imagine throwing that bucket down and getting that water out can be a bit hectic. But they had this stranger who did everything for them. I'm sure it was just very exciting for them to just tell the story, and everyone wanted to tell their share of the story to their father. And the father said, I'm like interested in getting to meet this guy. Who is this hero that saved you guys? So eventually Moses met the priest of Midian, and probably he was just sitting there relating his story, how he came to their land, why he escaped, and why he escaped his land and came towards his land, why he was running. So the high priest of Midian, with this act of kindness, he decided, okay, I'm just going to give you one of my daughters. I'm going to give you Zippora. I don't know whether Zippora liked Moses or Moses liked Zippora, but Moses was given Zippora to marry. They got married and they had 2 sons, 2 boys. Moses stayed with his in-laws in a foreign land for a very long time. Moses was looking after the sheep of his father-in-law. So one day, as he was looking after the flock, his father-in-law's sheep, he saw a burning bush. This burning bush, it was God. God told him he needs to go back to save his people. His people have been crying and praying for a very long time. The only person that would deliver his people was Moses himself. Moses went back home and he must have related the story to his father-in-law. His father-in-law was okay and understood, maybe understood the background, but Moses cannot go back without his wife and his children. I can just imagine when he related the story to Zippora. Zippora must have just said, "What? We need to go back to your country just because you spoke to a burning bush?" I mean, like, really now? I can just imagine that scenario. With the whole cultural difference as well, I can just imagine how Moses related the story to him. When you look at the character of Moses, I'm seeing Moses as this soft guy, as this shy guy, and I'm looking at Zipporah's character as well. At this point, our lives, sometimes we are forced to make decisions that we don't want to make decisions on. But when God calls you to do, and when God calls you on a mission, or God calls you to another place, you just need to have to leave everything behind. You need to leave your family behind. You need to leave that comfort zone. I guess Zippora was also worried that now she has to leave her comfort zone and join Moses back on this journey. Nothing happens for a reason. Moses ended up in the city of Midian, not knowing that as he got there as a single person, he would leave as a married man. When you look at Moses, I think he must have been around 80 years old. He was an old man. So I can just imagine the conversation between Moses, the 80-year-old, and his wife, Zippora. Suddenly they just need to relocate. Sometimes God wants us to leave our comfort zone. Sometimes God will make you leave our own families, people that we are surrounded with, people that we know, for you to be in this place where you were destined to be. Maybe sometimes you won't understand why God wants you to leave your place and go into this foreign land, but God has got a reason why. Moses knew that his reason of leaving the city of Midian was going to save his own people. So he knew why he had to embark on this journey. Maybe Zippora didn't understand. Maybe Zippora was just moaning and groaning the whole way as they were embarking on this journey. It will be uncomfortable sometimes, and fear will crop in, like Moses had that fear as well. He was probably worried. When I go back, will I be thrown back to jail? Because he had killed somebody. And that's the reason why he ran away. So maybe all these things were just playing into his mind. And then there was Zippora, the side, who was complaining how maybe she was also complaining why does she have to leave? Or maybe Zippora was excited, looking forward to the journey. We don't hear that part of the story. Along the way, as they were traveling, there was an angel that God sent to kill Moses. Zippora had to quickly make a decision of either help saving the husband, or maybe she just going back with no husband. Moses had done a mistake, but she didn't sit there and blame Moses. But she had to save Moses' life with a quick reaction. Sometimes as a wife, when a husband does a mistake, you need to quickly fix a situation than blaming him. You need to step in as a wife. I don't know how she knew why God had sent that angel to kill Moses, but for some reason, maybe she knew why. Maybe she sensed that situation that God was angry with Moses. Maybe it's something that they've been discussing about for some time now, debating on it. So she immediately went and grabbed a stone and cut the foreskin of the child and flinged the bloody foreskin into his feet. And she said, "Now you are the bridegroom of blood," referring to the circumcision. I'm saying here maybe she was angry. Maybe it's something that she didn't want to do. Now, when I look at Zippora's character, maybe she was an independent woman who's stubborn as well, full of pride. I also see her as a brave woman, a very hard-headed, brave woman, who is not easily convinced as well. Maybe she didn't believe this cultural belief of circumcising the son. But when she was faced with death over her husband, that made her change her mind. I guess she loved the husband. She didn't want him to die. Maybe she may be stubborn and proud, but at the end of the day, she displayed that heroic quality with her quick thinking. She supported her husband. Maybe she and Moses had cultural differences, and she didn't understand that culture, but at the end of the day, she did what she was supposed to do. So sometimes when you're married to somebody who's not in your same culture and you are told to do things that are against your culture, for you to save the marriage, sometimes you need to go through it, like what Zippora did. Basically, she was able to save the husband, and they continued with they embark on their journey. Later on, we see in the story where Moses had to send back his wife, Zippora, back home, and the children. Maybe it wasn't a safe environment. Maybe Moses thought, let me protect my family and send them back home. We see later in the story, the father-in-law told Moses that he was coming over to bring Zippora and the children, and they had a long conversation together. We don't know what was said in that conversation. I feel like Moses wasn't too sure what to do with his leadership skills because suddenly he was in charge of all these people and he wasn't sure what to do with them, because when you look at his leadership skills, they were just zero. He wasn't delegating his work, he was doing everything. And there were so many people there looking up on him. And the father-in-law was watching the whole scenario, seeing a lot of people there, Moses trying to pray for some of them. They all needed his attention. The father-in-law was watching while all these people needed Moses' attention, and he was like, why don't you get a number of people who are you going to pray for, and delegate some of the tasks that you need to do and let them help you with this job, because I can see you've got a lot of work to do. So maybe the father-in-law, maybe they decided that, you know what, Zippora should go back home. Moses had so much work to do. Maybe he had too much on his plate, that he didn't have time for his family and for his wife and children. I also think that he wasn't a good husband as well. This is a man who dedicated all his time to God, between praying and speaking to God and praying and speaking to God. There wasn't any space for Zippora to be in that situation because he had a lot to do and speaking to God, and he will spend hours speaking to God. So I think that is why Zippora had to go home. So we later don't hear about Zippora. So as a woman, God will send you to a place that you don't know because it's your husband's calling. And what you need to do is support your husband with that calling. Don't question why, just be a tool to fulfill his mission. Sometimes there will be cultural differences, but I suggest that you also learn the culture, also learn how things are done. Don't start fighting him. Rather save your marriage like how Zippora saved Moses. And if you are married to a man who's in ministry, you need to step in and help your husband. So with Zippora's faithfulness, she was able to save the husband even though she didn't understand the culture. It takes a faithful wife to stand beside of the husband. Sometimes you need to compromise and be the best you can be and be a Zippora to your husband. Thank you for watching. If this is content that you like, please don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video with somebody out there.